Is Steven Crowder going his own way?
Now, with all that being said, I may never get married again. What do you do with people like me?
I'm going to get you right into a clip that gets right into Steven Crowder talking about his thoughts on marriage, and then also he does apologize to being dismissive of guys that complained about a rough divorce or divorce court or family court. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are below. We're going to get right into it, but this is a shout out to Sane Bro Takes on Twitter or X, because that's who I found this clip from. And let me know what you think.
People are tarred and feathered, the men's rights people out there, the advocates, when they're talking about custody laws. I understand where they're coming from. I understand where you're coming from. I see you. And if you expect me to change my tune on marriage, right, this is something that, speaking to marriage in general, I want to be really clear. This has been unbelievably painful. And again, there's just necessarily incomplete information out there. As it relates to marriage, I get that there are some people out there who become bitter, who become anti-marriage, and I see that in the men's rights groups out there. Let me be really clear about something. My opinions haven't changed. I believe that a child needs a mother and a father in their house, ideally to raise them. That's incredibly important. I believe that marriage is the bedrock of society. It's the foundation of American society. Before state governance, before federal governance, you need self-governance, and that comes with a strong nuclear family. I still believe that, and I believe that we need to fight to preserve that in this country. Now, with all that being said, I may never get married again. What do you do with people like me?
So even though I, warn men about marriage, I agree mostly with his take here, because I've said it a billion times. I do think two-parent households are the best for society for raising children overall. However, the laws need to change to make the incentives far less beneficial, like so lopsided to mostly women. Every once in a while you get a case where the woman gets screwed over in divorce court or something, or she has to pay alimony, but typically men are taking the brunt of this. And so again, I like the idea if laws change. And now that Steven Crowder is getting more aware of this, who knows, when more and more people are awake, and he's pretty mainstream as far as having such a huge audience, the people will start pushing for it. So it could be closer than we think, guys, which is just, I think, good for overall humanity if that does happen. All right, here's the last part of this.
Now, with all that being said, I may never get married again. What do you do with people like me? And I know that there are a lot of men out there who love women, who are scared. And I am genuinely so sorry. If I was ever dismissive, I hear you. I was wrong. Comment below what experiences that you have been through, because you'll probably find other people. You are not alone. And you have someone who will be an advocate as it relates to strengthening families going forward in this country, specifically as it relates to laws and people who have had to go through this system for years. You do not need to be ashamed. We often say, hey, you shouldn't be shamed publicly. You should not be shamed because something didn't work out in a choice that wasn't yours. So I apologize. Really do. And if we ever get another question on life advice from a young man who is successful, who saved up some money and wants to try his hand at love, but he's concerned about being fleeced, you're never going to hear me be dismissive or spout talking points that I think are culturally sort of ingrained in the church that aren't necessarily biblical. So, apologies.
Okay, I got three things I'm curious about. You can answer one or all three on your way out. Firstly, do you think Steven Crowder will go his own way, in a sense, for the rest of his life? Like you mentioned, he may never get married again. Just go his own way, away from the system of marriage in that sense, getting tied down by the government and all that.
Now, with all that being said, I may never get married again. What do you do with people like me?
The second thing I'm curious about is, do you believe him? Do you believe his apology? Did it feel genuine to you?
And I know that there are a lot of men out there who love women, who are scared. And I am genuinely so sorry. If I was ever dismissive, I hear you. I was wrong. Comment below what experiences that you have been through, because you'll probably find other people. You are not alone.
And even, do you think that he is telling the truth when he says, I won't minimize a guy's concerns next time, young men, when they call in, with concerns about getting married legally when they have assets and all that stuff to lose?
And you have someone who will be an advocate as it relates to strengthening families going forward in this country, specifically as it relates to laws and people who have had to go through this system for years. You do not need to be. We often say, hey, you shouldn't be shamed publicly. You should not be shamed because something didn't work out in a choice that wasn't yours. So I apologize. Really do.
And then the third one is, do you think someone like Crowder being aware of this now will help shift the whole mainstream culture around this? Yeah, of course, maybe not in months or whatever, but in the near term, a lot of people didn't think that we'd ever see any laws change, and who knows what the future holds. But if more and more people like this get aware, it gets talked about, marriage rates go down, I think they'll have to do something. So do you think this will affect potential legal changes to the laws quicker than it would before because more mainstream people will be aware of this?
Those who say don't know, those who know don't say. I'm done walking with the herd, it's time I go my own way.
Don't forget, subscribe. Like, comment, share the video. Definitely subscribe.